outside, but this is crazy. Spring in New Zealand, the end of October, and springtime is notorious for high winds and also for rainstorms, and that's exactly what we've got this evening. We're in the Mount Somers Conservation Area bordering on the Hakateri Conservation Park. This is a little mining shaft that belonged to the old Blackburn Mining Company. It's a lovely little spot to stop and pause on your way up to Woolshed Creek Hut. Woolshed Creek Hut is a really lovely hut for people who are starting out their tramping journey. Tramping is New Zealand's term for hiking, and most of the time when people start out tramping, they go and stay in huts. So I'm going to take you up to the hut and show you around, just give you an idea of what you get when you go to a New Zealand hut. But I'm not going to be staying the night. And the reason I'm not going to stay the night is because I love being able to feel the elements. When I go out into the outdoors, I really love to hear the rain thundering on the roof of my tent. I love to be able to hunker down and get out of the wind. Fingers crossed I'm going to be able to find a suitable place to pitch my tent. So I've got 2 more hours to go, and it's out in the open in the blustery wind and the sun, but I'm pretty sure I said I enjoy the elements, so I better smile and get back on the track. I'll see you up there. Woo! All right. You know what? This is the kind of weather. Put your camera away. Oh. As I was saying, just about lost my wine. This is the kind of weather you put your camera away in and you keep your wits about you. Worst case scenario, I'm just going to stumble in the wind. It's not dangerous. I'm not at all concerned. I'm perfectly fine. It's just a bit intense. So I'll pack the camera away. See you at the hut. Whoa, there it is. All right, you guys, good news. Not only can I see the hut, but I can see down into the valley where I'm hoping to camp. To be perfectly honest, I'm questioning my life choices at the moment about tenting. I don't think it's going to be particularly safe. But that valley there, if my stick will stay still, could possibly be protected from the wind. There, though, is the hut. It's quite rugged landscape compared to some of the places that I've taken you guys before. A lot more dry, a lot less forest. But that's pretty typical for the Hakateri. I absolutely love all the rocks. Just beautiful. And down in that valley down there, there's waterfalls, a river, swing bridge. I'm hoping once I've got myself into the hut and I've had a hot cup of tea and gained my composure that we can go and have a bit of an explore. We'll see what the weather does. Yeah, Woolshed Creek Hut, thank goodness. Let's go and see if anyone's there. crazy weather in my time, and that is the windiest conditions I've ever walked in. Oh my goodness, it is so good to be here. Right, I've taken my boots off. Hut etiquette. You always take your boots off before you come in. Oh. Right. I am going to, what am I going to do? Compose myself, get a cup of tea going. While I wait for that to boil, I'll show you around the hut. So this is a 26 bunk hut, and those bunks are divided across the 2 bedrooms. Nice wood burning stove, 2 big kitchen areas with benches to cook on. There's tank water. This is absolutely crazy. Okay, so I was thinking before that I'll have a cup of tea and then decide what I'm going to do, but I think I know what I have to do. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute once I've got my cup of tea. One well-deserved cup of tea. So I'm sitting here and busy thinking about what I should do. It's not going to take a lot of thought though. Just listen to that wind. It would be so stupid of me to tent in this wind. I knew it would be a bit windy, but I honestly was not expecting it to be this strong. This is really, really nuts. What I had been imagining is, because it's a northwest wind, which is coming from that direction there, I imagined that down in this valley, especially if I follow it further up where it narrows a bit, that I would be able to find a spot where the wind would just move over the top of the valley. But one of 2 things tends to happen in a valley. Either the wind will pass over the top, but more likely, and this is what's happening in this case, is that it ends up funneling down through the valley. So the wind comes kind of over, down into the valley, and then channels right through the valley. So I can see the wind is just whipping through here. And if I go out and tent in this weather, I am absolutely 100% guaranteed to damage my gear. Either my camera's going to fall over and break. I've had that happen before. It's a really expensive mistake to make. Or my tent is going to rip, or my tarp is going to rip, and I'm just going to have a miserable time. So my decision is I'm going to stay in the hut tonight. Disappointed because I wasn't wanting to stay in the hut, but I'm going to make the most of it anyway. Woo! Okay. Wowzers. I just just wanted to show you the beautiful pattern of the rain on the window. Got a bit more than that. Okay, I might move away. There you go. If you're curious about the loos, be curious no more. Ooh, back out in it.
It's slightly depressing to look at all the stuff that I carried 3 hours in, and I'm going to carry 3 hours out tomorrow that I didn't need. I've got my single person tent and poles. And somewhere here, pegs, a sleeping mat. I even brought a chair and a little ultralight table. Haven't ended up needing any of them. This here is my rain tarp, and I would have brought this with me anyway, even if I was coming to the hut. It's just my backup safety shelter if anything was to go wrong and I needed to hunker down on the track and wait for help, or sit the weather out, or was unable to cross a river or something like that. So that would have come anyway. But basically, apart from a rain tarp, the only thing I would have had to bring with me to the hut would have been my sleeping bag and sleeping bag liner, change of clothes, raincoat, food, cooker, and pots and pans. So it does make for a pretty nice light walk if you're going to stay in a hut, that's for sure. Cheers. Lovely. What a spot to enjoy a glass, a billy of Pinot Noir. I feel very lucky, even though I'm not out there in the elements. I feel very lucky to be out here enjoying the outdoors, and also lucky to have the protection of the hut. I'm still tempted though to go and sit outside. The weather's blowing in this way, because when I first arrived here I thought, oh, maybe if I do decide to stay at the hut, I could put my camping mat out on that porch out there and still be out there in the breeze and with the sound of the rain and without the echoing that you get in here. But the weather is blowing straight in, so it's actually pretty wet out there. I think I can handle it though for 5 minutes while I have my wine. Let's go.
lazy. I can't do this.
I'll see you in the morning, and hopefully tomorrow morning we'll be able to go for a little explore. I'd really love to show you around the area a bit. I'd really love to explore the area a bit. Unfortunately though, feeling this wind is going to be here in the morning as well, so we'll see what happens. Night. Good morning. You've got the sun. Isn't this great? Got my coffee. We've got the sun. We still have heaps and heaps and heaps and heaps of wind. But I'm not going to come all this way and not show you guys around. So I reckon we just need to get out there and deal with it. I want to take you down to the Emerald Pool.
So it turns out that it's not very easy to drink a coffee in the wind with a camera while you're trying to look for a place to cross a river. Oh. So I'm going to have a couple of sips of coffee and then I'll heat it up when I get back. I'll leave it here. Yeehaw! Under different circumstances, I would definitely be going for a swim down there. That's just about a camping spot, but probably not quite. A bit slopey and a bit too wet with the water coming off the side of the rocks. And you're in a very narrow gorge. Not a good idea if it's raining. I didn't achieve the mission that I set out to show you guys how I find tenting spots. But who cares? It is what it is. And it's really important to me when I take you on these journeys that I actually take you on the journey that I experience. There's no value, no point in faking or pretending something. Honestly, it's way too tiring to do that. Seriously, life is way too complicated. Sometimes I see comments, not so much on my channel, a lot on other people's channels, but
you know, oh, this is fake, or this is AI, or this is this, or this is that. Honestly, it is far too complicated. When you come out on these sort of trips, all you want to do is get out and enjoy the outdoors. And I bring my camera along and I show you what I'm experiencing. And what it is what it is. If you were coming out on this trip with me, if you'd actually been walking alongside of me, this is what you would have experienced. So this is what I'm going to show you. Warts and all. Warts and all. I hope that you've enjoyed it nonetheless. And I didn't explain to you yesterday, but the reason that Indi is not with me is because even though this is not a national park, this is a conservation park, for some reason, and I have to respect it, the Department of Conservation has nominated this area as dog free. So you're not allowed to bring your dog. Not far to this. Technically, I think we're in the Mount Somers Conservation Park, and just over the hill is the Hakatiri Conservation Park. In most places in the Hakatiri you can take your dog, but you can't here. So that's the way it is. So Indi's back at home with the family. She'll be having a wonderful time. They always look after her when I go away, because they know she's missing out, so they make sure she has a good time. And hopefully she'll be with me on the next trip. Just depends what I end up doing and where I end up going. Thanks for coming along, you guys. I am going to get myself packed up on the track, and I don't think I'm going to film on the way back. It's too much to think about. I need to keep my wits about me. As you can tell, the wind has not eased off. The last thing I want to say, which is probably the most important thing to say, is thank you. Thank you for coming along on this trip. Thank you for watching. Thank you for clicking the like button if you have, and if you haven't and you've enjoyed it, please do that. It helps YouTube to know that this is the kind of content that's worth showing to other people. Thank you for subscribing. If you want to subscribe, please do, and then you know when more of my content is coming out. Thank you so much for the beautiful comments that you guys leave. I really appreciate them. I read every single comment. I make it a priority to answer members' comments first, just because it's a little perk for being a member, and because sometimes I just don't have the time. I just can't answer all of the comments. I read every single comment though, and if I can, I answer them all as well. So please leave me a comment if you want to say hi. And thank you so much to my Buy Me a Coffee members, my channel members, my Buy Me a Coffee donors, and my YouTube Super Thanks donors. You guys are amazing, and I really appreciate your support. It means a lot, and it allows me to get out and make more content. So everyone should thank you. On the sunscreen, I am ready to go. Sun hat, sunscreen, sunglasses. All I need to do now is pack away the big camera, get that all into my pack, and get on the track. Goodbye, little hut. Thank you for your refuge. Couldn't have done this one without this hut. I'd be leaving with a ton of broken gear and quite a bruised ego, probably. An hour and 20 minutes down. Just goes to show when you're motivated what you can do. The recommended times for this track are 3 hours up, 2.5 hours down. I think that's realistic if you've got children or if you're unfit.
But if you are fairly fit, if your pack's not too heavy, or if you're highly motivated, easily 2.5 hours up, easily an hour and a half down. Bye everyone.